What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday afternoon to all of you. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat, ready to get rolling. Maxwell Smart will be joining us in 8 minutes to break down this giant NCAA basketball card. Paulo Marquez in the house. There's so many games tonight. NHL and NBA to cash. What a guy, Paulo Marquez. Great hustle. Thank you for the kind words. And great hustle being first in chat. Deer Slayer Ski. Tonight's NHL play for me is Minnesota Wild. We shall see. Let's get them. I'm on the Wild as well. I like the Deer Slayers as well. D Boston. Geghard A. Rico Money. Nice job, Rico Money. That guy is eating. Nick the Slick. Moses Saucedo. Alex Guerrero. Ron Lofton. Jeff Billings. Good as gold. Kendrick Rowell, Nate Dogg, 420. Great to see Nate Dogg. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Great to see you, homie. Lillian Pumpernickel. What a great group. Nasty Nate says you got to add Mama to the intro. I haven't been using Mama or Salutes for a while. Melee Payless Way. Top set. Gerald Jones, good as gold. Corey Kelly, 30 years old today. Corey Kelly, happy birthday, my friend. The big 3-0. The big 3-0. Aaron 007 says, I'll tail on the Wild. DJ Big Boss. D. Chow. This is a great job with yesterday's NBA picks. Jimmy. Yeah, 2-0 yesterday. And I got 2 looks today. Gerald Jones says, great audible today. Thank you for being a part of it, Gerald Jones. Eric Jones, 2 plays per day only. Fat Fist ready to go. Von Polo in the house. Drex Lay ready to go. Says, love telling you in NHL, Jimmy. Yes, I'm very thankful that I can put money back in your pockets in NHL because NFL is not go. Oh, by the way, I did lock in the Cardinals plus 11.5. My first look on this card against the Niners on a short week with all of their injuries right now. All right, let's get to work. We don't have a lot of time, but most importantly, happy birthday. Happy big 3-0 for Corey Kelly. All right, let's get after it. Let's get after it right now. There's Diesel Eugene. I'm all over the Heat all 3 ways and taking Pistons team total under. It's exciting. It's an exciting spot where we have a distinct travel advantage with this rested Heat team. Okay, let's get through it right now. We have 5 minutes until Maxwell Smart will be joining us. Let's go. We're not even really going to have time for market moves. 5 minutes. So, and there's, 17 games. Let's just touch on everything very, very, very quickly here. In NHL, I'm on 2 looks, and they are the late games. I'm on, let's make sure that I'm logged in. I am, and let's see what my opener is, and it is Pinnacle. Perfect. Okay, so I'm on Minnesota. There's been a 10-cent move towards the Minnesota Wild. I like them here against the Kings. We broke down each and every game on the morning show, and you know what? The Wild are coming together. Duber's going to be in goal. This is the last game of a road trip for these Wild, and the Kings are coming back from a bad road trip. So Kings' first game back home. The Wild have turned their season around somewhat in the last 2 or 3 games on this road trip. They came out on this road trip. They'd only won 1 game on the road all year. They're playing good. They've won 2 of 3 games. And that game that they lost, they showed a ton of heart against the Sharks. They were down 5-2 going in the third. They ended up losing that game 6-5. I'm on the Wild -1. I got -111 on the money line. If I wanted that now, I could get it. -110 at BetOnline is available. And I got the puck line at +230. I'm also on the under 6. I'm on the under 6 in this game. I got that at -105. And you can still get that. You can't get it. Oh, yeah, you can. At Heritage, you can still get it at -105. So I'm on the under 6 in Minnesota, Los Angeles. Then I'm also on the Sharks. I got the Sharks on the -1 line. I got that at -131. And there are no... Oh, yes, there still is a minus. So there's been no market moves. You guys can jump on now if you want to. I'm staying away from the other spots, although I can understand why you guys would back Nashville. I don't want to sit here with road favorites in my pocket, so I did not take them. They opened up -106. Now they're -121. The Ducks here with Ryan Miller is going to be in goal. They open up -164. You can get them at -170. At Pinnacle, there's been a 6-cent move towards the Ducks. I'm off that. The total opened up at 5.5, and it did go up to 6 in a few books. Very interesting for these Ducks totals to be going up to 6. Those are my only looks. Here. Boston at home, with the injuries they're dealing with, I don't want them. I think Florida could upset them. Montreal at minus 180. That's a price I don't want to pay. Pittsburgh opening up at minus 121, now minus 143. This is a Pittsburgh team without Sidney Crosby. Tells me that the Rangers have value is what it tells me. Jeff Billings says, Jimmy, I love the Sharks first period and money line. I love hearing that. And St. Louis Lee says, I have huge news coming Friday. I love that. That's exciting. And the Barbecue Sauce Titty Play of the Day from our AM, who catched for the Seahawks Play of the Day. Barbecue Sauce Titty Play of the Day yesterday. He's on Blues minus 1.5. Geghard A says, would you go over on this game? What game, Geghard? I need to know what game. All right. So, and 70% on the year for Alex Guerrero. That's incredible. Beautiful. And Anthony Mastinardi says, come on, you're not on Montreal minus 1.5 of plus money? No way. Not a chance. I'm not a believer in this Habs team. So, look, I think the Rangers have value at this point, but I also think that Malkin's going to step up, and he could dominate with Crosby out of the lineup. I'm comfortable with my 2 spots, and that is where I'm going to end. Then in NBA, I did take the Cavaliers plus 10.5. Let's see if that is available right now. Then Teddy was on it. Teddy was on that spot, and I jumped on it as well. Cavaliers plus 10.5, and you can get 11 at 5 dimes right now and 11 at Bookmaker. Wow, should have waited. Interesting. So I guess that's saying that Ben Simmons is going to play. He's a game-time decision. I guess people think he's going to be in the lineup with that banged shoulder. And then I'm on the Heat minus 7.5, and it's gone up to 9 at BetOnline and Heritage. We did get information from our guy Junior Brown that the Pistons didn't get in till 5:30 in the morning. Their flight didn't leave till 2 a.m. So I'm on the Heat. Not a lot of plays for me. Yes, Michael Irvelina. Crosby is out for at least 2 games. He did not join the Pittsburgh Penguins on this road trip. And Alex Guerrero saying NFL is my specialty. I need the help. Deep Boston says, telling you, Jimmy, on the Heat, minus 7.5. Glenn Elliott Mann is on the under 6.5 in the Avalanche Jets game. I almost took the Jets. Anthony Mastinardi says, J Money going head-to-head with Teddy. J Money taking the Knicks. Coco Bongo said, I almost punched myself in the face as I bet the Habs. And there's not Flush Allen. Put my props plays on Twitter. Thank you for letting me know. I will retweet them as soon as I'm out of this show. And St. Louis Elite, let's look at his plays. Bruins money line in regulation minus 110 and minus 1.5 plus 145. Jets money line minus 115. I like your look on the Jets money line. I almost made that as well, but I did not. Jonathan Succi on the Seahawks money line. I love it. All right, so that's what's up. Not a lot of NBA plays for me. I had some leans that I didn't push forward with, and it's the Jazz first quarter, first half. I can understand why Junior Brown's on them, but this Nets team is going to come out angry. Will they be able to fight with the Jazz early? It's the only game that I probably should have pulled the trigger on, and I didn't. So that's my action. There it is right there. All right, let's bring in our NCAA basketball expert right now. Let's bring him in. Maxwell Smart in the house, joining us with this packed Tuesday NCAA basketball card. Rafa, my man, can you roll our graphics for Max's intro?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart, my man, how are you doing on this Tuesday evening?
I wish I was doing a little bit better. Obviously, the show picks did not go very well yesterday, but if you tuned into the live line, you got that Hawaii over 133 at plus 115, and hopefully that made you guys not hate me as much. Obviously, today was such a big card and over 60 games, I've had to really pick my spots. We're going to try and hammer the 7 o'clock games, as many as we can first, and then hopefully we can break down all the marquee games as well.
Let's do that. And last night wasn't so bad. 7-9. 7-9 is not terrible. Rafa, my man, can you put up first Max's overall record heading into our second day of the second week of the season. 40 and 35. You're still up units. That's all that matters. Up ROI, up units. There's Max's overall record. And then, Rafa, could you put up Max's best bet record? Open with a couple wins. We have 3 straight losses. I expect that to come through with glory. Eric Nisbet says, respect, Max. All good. Hector Rodriguez says, yes, sir. Hawaii came through. Jaquan put NHL place in the chat. Says, for me, and I will do that. I will do that very, very soon. Okay, let's get to work with Maxwell Smart. Let's first take a look at what he has already sent out. Official plays for betting with the bag, and we have a bunch of them. Max, do you mind if we start with your official plays on betting for this show that you've already tweeted out?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it right now. Here we go. The first official play that Max rocked is Siena over 136 at minus 110. Am I correct in saying that's the first one that you tweeted out?
Yes, it is.
All right, let's break it down right now. SBR odds page. We are going to NCAA basketball. I will also be turning my opening lines from Pinnacle to 5 dimes. So there we go. That is done. And then let's look at this first look. St. Bonnie's versus Siena. St. Bonnie's versus Siena. And this total that you tweeted out was, I believe, over 136 at minus 110. And if you want it right now, it's 136.5 or 137. Tell us why you're on this over in St. Bonaventure, Siena.
Yeah, so we've seen Siena with Steve Marcello definitely try and speed up the pace compared to how they played and the slow tempo they played last year. They're not getting caught in the half-court offense. They're really getting up and down the floor and getting to the free throw line. There is revenge in this situation versus the Bonnies. They did lose by 40 points on their home floor last year. So I expect Siena to have a little bit of a bittersweet taste in their mouth, and I expect them to take care of business tonight. But as far as the over, this is a Siena team that definitely needs to improve the three-point shot. 21% is just not going to do it, but like I said, when you move with tempo, you shoot volume, you get extra possessions, the points are going to get scored on the board. Obviously, the Siena team needs to get to the line, speed up the game, take care of the ball, because if they can cough up the ball less than 13 turnovers in this game, I think that they have a good opportunity to, first off, not give up a terrible lead, fall behind at home versus this depleted St. Bonnie's team. And also, I think that there's going to be opportunities for and one situations, driving with the new three-point line. A team like Siena is definitely going to take advantage of this because of their weak three-point shooting. The Bonnies, they're in the same boat. I expect them to do the same thing. Less three-point shot reliant, more driving, kicking, and trying to get it in the paint. The three-point defense is definitely going to be key for both teams. I expect them to have a little bit of an easier time shooting the three versus each other. So I expect those percentages to go up. It's going to be a battle of tempos, and I think that Siena is going to be able to dictate it. Watch out for Elijah Burns. Get some of these St. Bonnie's guys in foul trouble, really test their depth. I think that buckets are going to get scored tonight. So I'm on the over 136. And I also like Siena to get revenge.
Are you going to add Siena as an official play?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so the first official look from Maxwell Smart is Siena over 136 at minus 110. Coco Bongo says Max got a serious face on. I like it. Winners are coming. Joe Anisi says I love Maxwell Smart and D Boston. Max 8-3 so far. Great job. Absolutely great job. The next play on Max's card that he tweeted out is the Liberty under 136.5 at minus 110. That's South Carolina State versus Liberty. Liberty, South Carolina State, this total opened up at 136.5. That's where Max got it. It's down to 134.5 at Pinnacle. Max, why are you on this Liberty under?
Yeah, so obviously this Liberty team is one of my favorite teams in college basketball from a betting perspective. I think that they are still recovering from the losses from the off season. I think that we can expect them to be a little less efficient offensively, moving in transition a little slower than what we're accustomed to from watching them last year. And I think that it's going to be an interesting game tonight because South Carolina wants to do certain things that Liberty's definitely going to have to stop them from doing. One of that is limiting attempts from the three-point line. And you got to be smart with your hand checks and how you're guarding ball handlers, because you do not want to put this team on the line, because that's one of the only areas that they can score the basketball consistently. Take this game seriously. I don't think that they took the game against University of Maryland Eastern Shore that seriously. That's probably why they didn't cover the 19. I think it was 19 points that they were favored by. But getting back to this game, contain Applewhite tonight. He is their most dominant scorer. He's the most consistent. He's their shot maker. If you can lock him up, use Caleb Holmesley on him, I think that you're going to have a good opportunity to keep this game under. Normally, Liberty plays pack line defense. They'll slow the pace down. They'll play half-court offense. And with their percentages being on the lower end right now, I think that this is a good opportunity for us to get on and under, and I'm on it, so I'm liking it. I'm not going to be taking Liberty on the spread. I'm not convinced right now that they should be laying close to 20 points. But as far as the under, I think it's a solid play.
And there it is, Liberty under 136.5. And Alex Guerrero, I don't know how I didn't jump on that Russell Wilson rushing prop. I just don't know how I didn't do that. All right, let's move on to the next spot that Max tweeted out, and that is the Manhattan under. Delaware State Manhattan has opened up at 128 and got all the way up to 133, which is where Max took it. Manhattan, Delaware State under 133 at minus 110. What do you think here?
Yeah, it seems like people forgot how Manhattan plays basketball, and I haven't. I watched a couple of their games previously from the past season, and they're having a blackout tonight. This is pretty much the same Manhattan team. Brings back over 85% of their scoring, rebound, and assists. This was the team that was 15th in the nation scoring defense at 62.8 points per game. I think that's going to carry on tonight, and going up against Delaware State, who's going to be a team that I'm going to be trying to fade. I have already cashed a ticket against them with Ryder. I'm looking to do the same thing tonight, but I'm looking to get on the under. I lined this game at about 126, so when I saw the number going up, I didn't really understand what was happening. I do respect that Ty Reynolds, Warren Williams, and Samir Stewart are coming back, but I don't think that they're the type of top-end, mid-major pieces that are going to light it up on the scoreboard every night. This is a team that forces a lot of turnovers, are busy and aggressive on ball handlers. I expect that to be the same thing, and I expect Delaware State to have trouble scoring. I expect them to have trouble taking care of the ball, and I expect them to force a lot of three-point shots that they probably shouldn't take. This is a three-point oriented team. If you could stop them from the three-point line, you could probably keep them under 45. So I'm on the Manhattan under. I'm not going to lay the points with them in the first game of the season, even though it's a home game, a blackout, and historically they do produce very nicely ATS in those types of scenarios. But officially, I'm on the under.
On the under for official plays here. Very interesting info coming in from Dean Williams, Max. He says, hey, just texted my brother who goes to Siena. The game tonight is the Franciscan Cup, and tonight they are naming it after a brother at Siena who died. My brother said Siena is showing out for this game. Does that make you want to jump on Siena?
Well, I've already bet Siena. It's just I'm not going to make an official pick just because what have I learned from watching the Bonnies this year? They're capable of taking my money. So I feel like this is going to obviously be a really nice game for Siena to get right. The 40-point loss last year, revenge situation, Jalen Pickett, new roster, same jersey. I like it. I'm just not liking it enough that I want to put it on my record and potentially take a loss on it if it doesn't come through.
Wow. Okay. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, let's keep rolling. And thank you, Dean. Thank you for all you guys who are bringing in these insights and giving us the latest info. It means so much to us. The next look on Max's card is the Washington under. Mount St. Mary's against 20th ranked Washington. Washington opening up opening at minus 22. There's now 22.5, and this total is sitting at 137. Max got Flash and I on a futures ticket that we went in on together for Washington, and I believe it was 70-1 to win it all. Max, under 137 in Mount St. Mary's, Washington. Why is this the move for you?
So when I looked at this game, I was like, well, Baylor just played Washington. Washington and Baylor were lined at around the same number. I had this game lined at 133.5, so I barely had a good enough edge to take this under. Mount St. Mary is by no means a slouch. They are a very nice up-and-coming program with some very nice young pieces. The issue for me is the book's out on them. You know, they had a really good game against Georgetown, broke down in the second half. And I think that tonight they're going to be going up against a long, athletic Washington team that plays zone, that's going to really either force them to take three-point shots that they may not necessarily be in a position to make, or penetrate to the bucket with rim protectors waiting for them. So I think that this is a game that Washington definitely has to be on upset alert, because Mount St. Mary is definitely a team to be worried about. We saw what they did to Georgetown in the first half. I just think that Washington's going to be ready for this game. They're traveling. They're not at home. They're going to be traveling to Toronto next week. I'll be seeing them then. But I think that tonight, with the length, with the zone that Mount St. Mary doesn't see in the NEC, I think that this is a prime spot to take an under and expect a team that you think has offensive potential to really run into a brick wall against a really stout defensive team in Washington.
And there we have it. 1 over and 3 unders is what Max has already locked in as the official low bag plays. Again, Siena over 136, Liberty under 136.5, Manhattan under 133, Washington under 137 at minus 110. And there's Matt Randall in the house who added Furman. I've got Matt Randall's plays in front of me as well. He is on Washington minus 22. What do you think of Matt Randall taking Washington to take care of business?
Yeah, I think it's a solid play. It's not going to make my board, because what I've learned from watching Washington games under Mike Hopkins is sometimes they start out slow scoring wise, and that leads to really good halftime adjustments, which I think Mike Hopkins is one of the best coaches in college basketball for. I'd be more interested in watching the first half and then laying a second half bet, depending on what the score is. I totally believe and respect the capping ability of Matt Randall. We all know and see what he does on a daily basis. It's just, for me, I don't have a big enough edge to get on the spread. And like I said, I think that there's going to be value betting the second half on Washington, because sometimes they don't come offensively ready to go and they have to just turn it on the second half.
I believe we have a game popping off in 5 minutes. Pittsburgh, Robert Morris. Pittsburgh opening up at minus 10.5. Now minus 11s. Robert Morris total at 132.5. And that is stayed there. There are some 133s. Max, Pittsburgh, Robert Morris.
So initially I was leaning to the over in this game. I haven't betted either way. I probably will not. What my issue with this game is, and what I bet, was Robert Morris first half. I got them plus 6.5. I think that this is a decent way to play this game. Pittsburgh obviously is coming off the embarrassing loss against Nicholls State at home. Robert Morris is opening up a new building tonight. You can't trust them from the free throw line, so you don't want to bet on them full game where they are 56%. Defense is the issue for this team. And if Josh and John Williams aren't scoring, then you have a major problem. Have to worry about the 50% opponent field goal shooting percentage, but this is a well-coached, this is a team that plays hard. They cut hard to the basket, they defend together, and I think that with the new building and some new jersey, I think that at least in the first half against an inner-city rival in Pitt, I think that they're going to be ready to go. Listen, Pitt should be embarrassed. Pitt's definitely not thinking that they're as good as they thought they were after beating Florida State, but I think that maybe this game stays close for the first half, and then Pittsburgh takes over and covers in the full game.
Are you taking Robert Morris first half as an official play?
Robert Morris is already a bet on my accounts. I just don't know if I can get the 6.5 for show purposes, and if I can't, I don't want to make an official play.
All right, let's see what you can get here on Robert Morris first half. here. Sean Williams coming in with more action as well. I love this. Also, Joe Anisi, the work play today. OKC, Indiana over 213 at -110. I like that look. Sean Williams, I'm going to copy and paste your action as well. Joey work, copy and paste that action. And just sixes on the board, Max. Just sixes. So we move on?
Yeah, no, I'm laying off.
Laying off. All right. Copy and pasting Sean Williams. Copy and pasting Joey Anisi. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Creighton, Michigan. This game pops off in 33 minutes. Michigan opening up at -4.5, now -5.5 across the board. This total has skyrocketed up from 147.5 all the way up to 154.5 or even 155 at Bet365 and Heritage. Max, Creighton, Michigan.
Yeah, so Creighton obviously is going to be missing Davion Mintz, Damian Jefferson possibly, and obviously Jacob Epperson's still out of the lineup. This is a three-point oriented team. They got to limit the fouls. They got to get to the three-point line. And they got to hit the three-point shots. With Tyshawn Alexander and Marcus Zagorowski, you got two good pieces right there that have started the season off really nice. I think that they are somewhere between like 9 for 14 combined or something from the three-point line. But the key for this game is how Creighton's front court of Kelvin Jones and Kristen Bishop deal with the front court of Michigan. And Eli Brooks, John Teskey, Isaiah Livers, these are guys that can score the ball different ways. They can take you out to the three-point line. They can take you down low. So it's going to be really dependent on Creighton scoring the basketball. I think that they're going to. I think that this Michigan team is a little overvalued regardless of who's coaching and what's on the roster. I think that this Creighton team, if they can hit three-point shots early, they're going to be able to get a sizable lead, and I think that Michigan will have problems coming back. What I watched against App State definitely worried me about this Michigan team, but as long as they can cut down on turnovers and John Askey, Eli Brooks, and Isaiah Livers are somewhere around 50% combined from the three-point line, they have a chance. Otherwise, Creighton could be blowing them out tonight.
Wow. Wild.
So I have two plays, but I'll only give out one play for the show purposes. I took the under. I'm going against the line movement. Originally, I liked that over, but what I learned from last night is I think that there's a lot of under talk in the industry right now, and the odds makers could be mind fucking us. So I'm going with the under in this game.
Wow, that 155 gone. Down
to 154, huh?
Yeah, Bet365 just went to 154, but Intertop still hanging to 154.5. Same with 5 dimes, and they'll give you less juice. Wow, that's wild. As soon as Max said that, it just flickered down. So, Max, right now I can give you under 154.5 at -105. That's available at Heritage and 5 dimes. Under 150, and William Hill just dropped it to 154. Under 154.5 at 5 dimes. That is Creighton, Michigan, under 154.5 at -105. All right, Max is locked in. He's got 5 totals on the card, and we've gone through the early games. We've gone through Max's plays that he's tweeted out earlier. Now we get to the 7 o'clock game. Dean Williams says, love that under. Wow, and same with Matt Randall said, I also took it at 154. And Matt's taint play of the day is the Mississippi Valley State, Western Michigan game under 160. I've already copied and pasted that. We will talk about it. Gas Station Sushi, Max betting on the over in the Pacers Thunder first half. Wow. Gas Station Sushi, Max betting that over in the first half, and the Joey work taking that full game. I think I've got to jump on that over. I'm going to copy and paste that right now. Wow. Okay, I think I got to jump on the Joey Works play, especially if it correlates. Okay, let's keep rolling along and hit these 7 o'clock games right now. And, God, I think I should, Dean Williams saying loving that under. That's a high total, and it's gone up so many points. It's gone up too many points. All right, I'm going to tail that under the Creighton, Michigan, under 154.5 -105. That's my first spot that I'm tailing on Max's card. All right, let's move up to Davidson, Charlotte. This total opened up at 136.5 and is now at 139. This spread, waiting for it to load here, has Davidson opening up at -12 and now 10s right across the board. Max, Davidson, Charlotte.
I don't have a bet on this game, but I would be leaning to the under and fading the line movement.
You would be if making a move on the under and fading the line movement. All right, we're going to keep rolling, Max. Got a nice pace for us. Missouri against 21st ranked Xavier. We're going to try to hit all these 7 o'clock games. Missouri, Xavier, and then we'll pick out the best ones for the rest of the card. Missouri, Xavier opening up at -5.5. That's where they stand right now. This total opening up at 136 and is now 134 across the board. Max, Missouri, Xavier.
Yeah, I'm worried about Xavier playing a full 40-minute game. They get Paul Scruggs back, but it's going to be really important for Jason Carter to really step into this lineup and contribute offensively. This is a team that shoots 63% as a team right now from the free throw line. I can't trust that. On the other side, Mizzou is impressive to me. I really like that Jeremiah Tillman's really stepping out of his shadow, really stepping into like the role that we expected from him when he signed with Mizzou. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Drew Smith, the Evansville transfer point guard, who I think is going to add some good pace and really add some vocal leadership on the floor and keep these guys going. Mark Smith, obviously from the three-point line, very nice piece. The thing for Mizzou is you gotta get to the free throw line. You gotta slow this game down, limit the possessions, protect the rim, and get on the offensive glass. This is somewhere that you could use your big boy Jeremiah Tillman often, and I think that against an undersized Najee Marshall, you could butcher him. You could freaking smack him around, maybe get him on the bench with early foul trouble. The issue for me in this game and what I bet the under in this game. I got 136. I see that it's at 134 right now. And the reality is I can't trust two teams that both shoot under 25% and both defend it under 26% to go over 136. I think that there's going to be turnovers from both these teams in this game. I think it's going to be a little sloppy, a little ugly, and I'm looking for an under. And I'll say this. I'm not going to make it official, but I'll tell you right now, I bet Mizzou money line to beat Xavier outright.
Wow. Mizzou money line. And you have bet the total at 136 that you wanted for show purposes at 134?
No, I will not take it at 134.
All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, Northeastern Massachusetts. Massachusetts opening up as 1.5-point dogs. They're now 2 or 2.5-point dogs. This total opened up at 140. There's now 140.5 and 141. Northeastern Massachusetts.
Okay, so Northeastern's basically a one-man team. Jordan Rowland, he's a one-man wrecking ball. I look for him to have a big game tonight. I look for him to lead Northeastern into UMass and hopefully take advantage of a UMass team that's just lost Colton Mitchell, a guard off the bench who definitely has some scoring potential. Cy Chapman, he's not going to be playing tonight either. And the status of Trey Mitchell, the top 100 recruit, I can't find any information if he's going to play or not. And that's 10 points and 10 rebounds that you're taking out of the lineup and a rim protector. So I'm looking for Northeastern to shoot the ball like they have, hit the 3-point like they have from 45, hitting at 45%, 77% from the free throw line, and they're playing decent 3-point defense. So I'm looking for Northeastern to win this game. I got them on the money line overnight. It was one of the first or second plays that I laid down, and at 2.5, I still think that they win and cover this. It's just I have a fellow lowbagger Ace Almighty in my head being like 2.5s and 3.5s lose often. So for show purposes, I'm actually going to take the under 141 if it's still available for this game.
It is still available under 141. You can get a 2 at Pinnacle, by the way, Max. You can get Northeastern -2 at Pinnacle. Under 141 at -111. Northeastern. So there, Max, on another total here. Northeastern under 141 at -111.
Sorry, Jim. I just wanted to point out Northeastern's +10 in the first half. They're a solid first half play if you're looking to make a derivative bet. And they're also have a nice margin in their scoring margin. The issue for Northeastern is the second half. So if you're looking to bet a side, I would probably hit the first half, maybe on the spread, maybe on the money line instead of the full game, because this UMass team has definitely been stingy. They have been playing gritty, and if TJ Weeks gets his 3-point shot off, it could cause problems in the second half for any bettors.
Interesting breakdown. Next up, Evansville, Kentucky. Number 1 ranked Kentucky opening up at -25. Now, there are 25.5s. There are 24.5s. This total opened up at 137.5 and has gone up to 141, even a 142 at Bovada. Max, Evansville Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm not betting. Side or total. I would lean with Evansville with the points. I didn't look into it too much. There was some articles that I browsed through that Walter McCarty had something special planned for Kentucky, but in my mind, the only thing that he has special planned in Kentucky is to get a nice bottle of Maker's Mark and have a bourbon on the rocks.
I hear that. Let's move on to Citadel, Georgia. Georgia opening up at 25.5-point favorites, now up to 28.5 at Bookmaker. This total high. We know how Citadel likes to play. Opened at 164, all the way up to 171, Max. Citadel, Georgia.
Yeah, I just cashed a ticket on UNC Asheville versus the Citadel team, and I got a good impression of what they're able to do. I don't think they're going to be able to do against Georgia. It's just a matter of how hard Georgia goes at them. If Georgia wants to score 100 points tonight, they're going to score 100 points. It's not a game that I'm going to be betting either way. I would be fading the line movement right now because I believe it opened at 162 or something. It's up to 171. That means fade the line. So,
all right, we heard from
nothing
Max.
for me on that.
Ben Sports 24/7 says Georgia has great defense. Jonah Reyes says Citadel team total points at 70.5. Ulysses liking Kentucky minus all those points. Let's move on to William and Mary at Wofford. Wofford opening up at minus 11. Now we have 10s and 10.5s. His total opening up at 148. Now 145.5 or 145. Max, William and Mary, Wofford.
Yeah, this is a simple play for me. If I'm playing it, I'm playing Wofford in the over. Wofford isn't going to be plagued by the size of the front court from Van Vliet and Nathan Knight that American was. American wasn't able to play with their front court. They just took the ball, banged it down low, scored every time. They're not going to have the same opportunities tonight. I think that Wofford with Nathan Hoover and Storm Murphy still in the fold. I think that you have a great point guard, a really good pure scorer. It's just a matter of him hitting his three-point shot. He didn't have a very good first game. I expect him to rebound at home. I expect him to cover the 10 points. I expect this game to go over, and I'm fading the line movement. So for show record-keeping purposes, I'm going to take the over 145 if I can still get it.
You can still get it. Over 145 at minus 115. That's available at Bookmaker and Bet Online. There's another total that Max is taking. Wofford over 145 at minus 115. Let's keep rolling along. East Carolina, Appalachian State. App State opening up at 7.5. Now 6.5 across the board. This total opening up at 143. Now 142.5 and 143s. And 142 at U-Wager. Max, East Carolina versus App State.
Yeah, so I'm looking at East Carolina in the first half. East Carolina is very subpar at the free throw line, but they win on the glass, so they get those second chance opportunities to get those extra shot attempts. Jaden Garner is a fantastic sophomore, averaging 21 and 9.5 rebounds, 84% from the free throw line, which makes me happy and makes me think that this is a team that is coming off a revenge loss versus App State team last year, and no Ron Shad Shabazz to help out with Justin Forrest in the scoring duties. I think that ECU is going to be able to get a little bit of revenge. I don't think that they win the game outright, but I do think that they cover the spread. In the first half is a play that I prefer to make just because I don't trust a team that doesn't score over 70% of the free throw line in the second half on a game that they are giving points. So first half is going to be my play. I think that this is a close first half, and I think that possibly in the second half, App State's able to adjust at halftime, really find ways to get Justin Forrest the basketball and get him shots, because we've seen what he did in his first game, 29 points. I expect him to have a similar offensive output. Both teams turn the ball over a lot. Both teams are very aggressive on ball handlers, and if I was leaning towards a total in this play, I would also be leaning towards the over.
A lean towards the over. Any plays, official plays?
So the play for the record, for the show purposes, is going to be ECU first half. So what number can you give me on that, Chip?
I will look for ECU first half. We have a couple questions coming in. One from Lizo and one from our guy, Kenneth Heath. So we'll start with Kenneth Heath. He says, ask Max about Kentucky first half. What do you think about Kentucky first half?
Yeah, I think that if Kentucky is going to be in a good position, we're going to know right away. And I think that they demonstrated against Eastern Kentucky that they're not going to just sit back against an in-state rivalry team. Now we have a different kind of team, an Evansville team, but I think that with Walter McCarty having Kentucky background and roots, I think that they'll take this game seriously. I think that they'll read what's been written in the newspaper about it, and I think that they'll be a little insulted by the fact that Evansville has so much confidence coming down to frickin' Kentucky, and I think that Kentucky is going to be able to at least win in the first half. I'm not too sure about the full game because they do have a tendency to lighten up, and with the skill set of the team this year, I don't think that they want to get into a complete run and gun type style. So if you're going to be making a play, I support that. It's just not going to make my board.
All right. And East Carolina is a situation where you can get 3.5 plus 3.5 at minus 110, or pay 15 cents for plus 4.
I'll pay the extra juice for the half point.
So that's 15 extra cents. So that's plus 4 at minus 125.
Oh, minus 125. Sorry, I didn't. You
no
cut
problem.
out
I phrased that poorly.
Yeah, no, I'll take the juice. I'll take the juice. And the
plus 4 at minus 125. East Carolina plus 4.
We won't be doing that often.
4 at minus 125. The next question comes in from our guy, Lizo. And Lizo wondering what you think of Miami. They're playing UCF tonight. And he's thinking, what do you think about Miami first half against UCF?
Yeah, I was feeling the other way. UCF opened up as a favorite. Now they're, I would believe, around 2.5-point dog. I'd be looking towards UCF full game. But what I'm actually interested in betting and also giving for the show purposes, I'm hoping that this game's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't know how everybody in the chat's feeling about it who watches this Miami team. Maybe my guy Sean Fox is in there, but I think that this game has some value on the additional totals on Bet365. That's the way that I'm looking at it. So I'm actually trying to figure out what I want to do as far as the number, how many points I want to sell on this total, but it's definitely going to be something that I get on. And if I can find the odds while I'm talking to you, I will definitely do that.
We have a quick question from Anuj Ball about the Oregon spot this evening. Feel free to bring your questions in. We are trying to get through as many games as possible, but this is a big one. 13th ranked Memphis at 14th ranked Oregon. Oregon opening up a minus 2. Oh, that's first half. My fault. Let me get the full game very quickly. Here we go. And Jonah Reyes, by the way, liking the UCF under in the team total. UCF team total under. Here we go. This is a big one. 13th ranked Memphis, 14th ranked Oregon. Oregon opening up at minus 3. Now Pinnacle's at 3.5, and 4s are across the board. This total has dropped 3 points at Pinnacle. Opened at 147 at 5 dimes. Now 144 at Pinnacle. Max, Memphis, Oregon.
Jim, I gotta put a halt on this talking of this game and save it till the last game that we speak about.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Well done. Well done.
And I do have a play for the Miami game that we're going to count on the official record. I'm going to be taking the under 135 plus 120 in this Miami UCF game. I am praying to the high heavens that UCF forgets how to play basketball tonight. Wow. I'm hoping that Miami thinks that they're scoring the bucket on the other end of the court. So,
wow. So
ugly. Let's go.
What was that number, Max?
Under 135 at plus 120.
Under 135 at plus 120. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, we have questions coming in. Perfect Rotation has a question, and Geghard A has a question. So why don't we go first with Perfect Rotation, wondering about this Minnesota spot. And let me go to spreads and totals. By the way, Pittsburgh opened up 7-0 against Robert Morris. Robert Morris answered with 7 unanswered, so it's 7-7 right now. Let's find this Minnesota spot. Here we go, Minnesota Butler. Butler opening up at minus 10, down to 7.5. This total at 135.5. And the question is, from Perfect Rotation, Minnesota plus 7.5, Max. How do you feel about that?
I'm on Minnesota plus 9.5. At plus 7.5, you're getting the ass end of the line. I think that Minnesota is definitely primed to upset tonight. They could be one of those big juicy dogs that cash, and I think that they can and will. With Marcus Carr assuming the role of the point guard, you have a guy that resembles Nate Mason, the former Gopher point guard, who was a fantastic, stable point guard. Marcus Carr has a little bit more flair, really quick off the dribble, and I think he's going to be able to take advantage against a Butler team that I think is a little slow. I just don't think that they want to get into a real run and gun type game. And with Kamar Baldwin not being 100%, it's just not a team that I can get back behind. I don't know if he's going to be able to shoot the ball, score the ball. That puts a lot more responsibility on McDermott. And McDermott's answered the bell so far. But I think against this type of team, they're going to have a little more problems. Minnesota plays great defense. They can beat you inside and out. Daniel Oturo is going to be hopefully all Big Ten player this year. And I think that you're on the right track with Minnesota. I think that Minnesota has a good chance to win this game outright tonight.
Geghard A has a question. And Max, if you want to direct to any game, because we're not going to be able to touch all of them. Geghard A has a question, and questions are starting to roll in on North Dakota Gonzaga total. It opened at 151. It's now at either 149, 149.5, or 150. What do you think of this total, North Dakota Gonzaga?
So, North Dakota is definitely hopefully going to be able to put up a bigger defensive stance against Gonzaga tonight. I plugged my nose and took the under 149. If Gonzaga is going to win by 40 points, they're probably going to play some pretty stout defense. And I really like how this team is coming together from a defensive standpoint. You're really seeing the veteran leadership of Armand Gilder and Ryle Woodridge show itself. You know, you need solid guys in the backcourt. This team has consistently won having guys like that, and having two grad transfers like that, I think it's going to be beneficial. As far as the total, Mark Few is not a belligerent man. He's not a degenerate man. So if he's up by a lot of points, I think he'll take his foot off the pedal. It's just about North Dakota being able to play defense against Gonzaga, and I think that we're going to see a lower scoring output from Gonzaga. Therefore, the under is in play for me, and it's on my card.
All right, but not official here for the show.
Not official for the show.
The next question comes in from Dean Williams. Says, money coming in on Fairfield late, Max. What do you think of them as a pick'em? They are a pick'em at 5 dimes. It's opened as Holy Cross as a 2.5-point favorite. Then Holy Cross became a pick'em here. Fairfield, Holy Cross. What do you think of Fairfield here?
Yeah, this Fairfield team with Landon Taliaferro, he's pretty much the only offensive piece that impresses me. I was very disappointed that they weren't able to keep Natali Alvarez, who transferred to Mercer. But I do think that tonight this Fairfield team is going to be able to come back and regroup. You know, they had a tough loss. I think against this team, they're going to have an opportunity to really step out of their shell. I know that Noli Nose is on the under, and that's initially where I was leaning and looking, but I didn't find my way onto it. I do feel like Holy Cross, without having Bill Carmody as a coach, there's going to be a lot more up-tempo. We've seen it based on their scores. We've seen it based on their defense, and at this short number, I just can't get on it. It's a game that I'll be betting live because it'll be on the Patriot League Network, and it will be on Bet365's live betting menu.
Next question comes in from our guy, Lucky Lefty. It says, Oral Roberts versus Tulsa. Do you think Oral Roberts can win outright or take the points? And what about the over? Rotation number 791, 792, Oral Roberts, Tulsa. Tulsa opening up at 7.5 now. 6s across the board. This total can be got anywhere between 151, 151.5, and 152. Max, Oral Roberts, Tulsa, side, total?
Yeah, so I like the under in this game. I think that Tulsa really tries to frustrate them. Against Houston Baptist, they let Houston Baptist run up and down on them. This Oral Roberts team has the pieces to do that with DeAndre Burns, but they're front court oriented. They can really play a rock style type game, slow the pace down if that's what suits them and helps them win the game. I think that I think that Oral Roberts is going to be one of the surprise teams in the Summit League, and I think that tonight this is a perfect opportunity for them to get a non-conference win that can go on their resume. Obviously, Tulsa is not the top team in the American that they were, or mid American team that they were last year, but still beating a fringe power top six conference team is going to be beneficial for them, and I think that if you were to pull my arm and force me onto the play, I would take Oral Roberts on the first half rather than the full game.
No Request has a question, has to do with Fresno State. Fresno State, San Diego. Fresno State opening up at -2. They're still there, but it's a 1.5 at Pinnacle. He's wondering if he should jam with Fresno State.
Yeah, I'm not on it right now. It's one of the games that I'll look at after the show, but no play for me. My initial lean would be San Diego.
Initial lean would be San Diego. The next comes from our Arthur Mead. Rotation number 775, 776, Chicago State, Eastern Illinois. He's wondering if he should hammer this under at 147.5. It's up to 148.5 at some books. Chicago State, Eastern Illinois. What do you think of the under in this spot?
Yeah, Arthur, I'm actually on the other side. I'm on the over in this game. I just don't believe in Chicago State playing any kind of defense, and they got a guy that can score 20 points a game. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but when I initially capped this game last night, I really liked the fact that Eastern Illinois is coming off a couple tough games. They really want to flex their muscle, and against Chicago State, that's a team that will allow them to do so. I cashed for Chicago State against Loyola Maryland of the Patriot League, and I think that tonight's a similar situation where I'm going to be jumping on the over, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. If it was in the 155 range, I'd be looking towards the under, but at 148 or 147.5, it's something that I had to lay. So I wish you the best luck, Arthur.
Arthur is a great guy. We have questions coming in, and I need to find the rotation numbers. And incredible job, Max, by the way, handling all these questions with such ease when you don't know what's coming. I'm trying to find this spot. I will keep looking for this next question that's come in. So why don't we hammer the next game, keep going down the line. Next one, Chattanooga, Troy. Troy opening up at -3. There are threes. There's a 3.5 bet online and a 2.5 at Pinnacle. This total has dropped 5 points from its opener at 147.5 to 142.5. Chattanooga, Troy. Max?
Yeah, this Chattanooga-Troy game, I was actually looking for Scott Frost to have a really nice start to his Troy career, and he didn't. He lost in heartbreaking fashion to UAB. What Troy has to do tonight, they have to take care of the goddamn ball. You cannot turn the ball over as much as you did versus UAB at the times that you did and expect to win games and hold leads. You got to improve the three-point D, and I think that the three-point shot is obviously going to be the key for this team. This is not a team with Jordan Bernardo anymore. They're going to be relying on Darian Adams, KJ Simon, and Jertavius Gordon. So it's going to be really up to Chattanooga to step up and in. I think that Troy, from a non-basketball factor, they have motivation right now. They're at home. But I think that Chattanooga, with the exception of that piece of shit Rod Johnson and his 4 turnovers a game, I think that they're coming in. I think that they're getting a win tonight. Matt Ryan, the Vanderbilt transfer, 13 points per game, and David John Baptiste at 14 points per game. Those are solid starting pieces. They hit their free throws at 72%. They locked down the three-point line, and it's just a matter of shooting the ball better. Get into a rock fight with Troy. Let's get this game not even to hit 130. I'm down with that. So, I'm liking Chattanooga in this game. I did like the under at 146, but at 142.5, I just can't take it. It'd just be the ass end of the line. So I lean towards Chattanooga. I don't like them on the money line as much as some of my other fellow respected college basketball cappers do, but I do think that it's a nice +3, +3.5 piece that you can get.
All right, there we go. We have a couple people asking about this Prairie View A&M Texas State spot. Texas State opening up at -10. Now there's anywhere between 11, 11.5, and 12. This total is stuck at 143. Max, Prairie View, A&M, Texas State.
Yeah, Prairie View is one of the teams that I have to watch more. Losing Jalen Patterson, there's just a lot of pieces that I have to see come together. They had a great game the other night. I'm just a little worried that they aren't able to replicate it. I think that you're taking a step up in defense, and I think that with Texas State, their perimeter defense is just suffocating. You know, they get up on the ball handlers, they'll trap you in the half court, they'll full court press you, they'll really try and turn defense into offense. And against a team like Prairie View with not a lot of continuity and some new moving pieces, it's just a game that I can't get on from a side perspective.
Next question comes from our guy Josh Minnie. Says, thoughts on Air Force pick'em over Army. There are some spots that have Army as a favorite, but most books have the pick'em. This total opened up at 146.5 up to 148. Max, Air Force, Army.
Absolutely. On paper, Air Force should go in and win this game. I think that with guys like Joyce Walker, and Sid Tomes, you got some good guard pieces that can score the basketball. It's just a matter of them doing it consistently. This is a team that relies on playing three-point defense. This is a team that relies on scoring close to the bucket. I think that they need to incorporate some more perimeter shooting into their offense, but you do what you can with the personnel that you got. 50% defensive three-point defense is not going to cut it against this Army team, who is a deliberate, slow-paced scoring team, unless you draw them into a race. I think that Air Force has to limit fouls, limit turnovers, and both these teams get to the free throw line. I'm looking actually at this game from a total perspective, from my betting card. I'm actually looking to get on the under in this game. I'm hoping that Air Force comes with a D today. I hope that Army is inefficient because this team has major three-point woes. They can't shoot the ball efficiently, and they don't know how to run balanced offense. They don't know how to just drive to the bucket, kick it out, shoot a jump shot. Like, there's some simple fundamental offensive deficiencies with this Army team that I just can't get behind of. They rely on running their offense in the half court, and that means that slowing it down, limiting possessions. I think that Air Force is going to do the opposite. I think that Air Force is going to be able to speed them up, and then Army is going to just say, hey, we want to run also. So I'm on the over. I like Air Force on the money line, and that's about it on that game for me.
Are you making any of those official?
No, I'm not.
All right, let's keep rolling along. And from a question standpoint, Arthur Meade Jr. saying rotation 77-778, Valparaiso, SIU, Edwards, Valparaiso minus 6.5. Should he hammer Valparaiso here?
I'm probably indifferent on this game. I think that Ryan Fazekas being out of the lineup, I thought it was going to make a bigger difference, but we saw how Daniel Sacchi and Javon Freeman really stepped up, ran the offense, and really took ownership of this team. I think that John Kaiser is going to play a really important defensive role. He is your 3D lockdown guy. I think that SIU Edwardsville, definitely a team that you should not be putting a lot of faith in when it comes to conference season, but I do think with this line going up to 6.5 from, I believe, 4 or 3.5 when it opened, the play that I was going to make was be on SIU Edwardsville and possibly take them on the money line to upset Valparaiso, because Valparaiso has been playing some decent basketball, and maybe they go onto the road tonight and they slip up.
I like it. And wow, Robert Morris was up 5 points, now up 3 points. But great calls. Great calls. Let's keep rolling along right now. People asking about, thank you, Avitaz. Much love to you. I'm on 3 plays in NHL. Wild -1, Sharks -1, and the under 6 in Wild Kings. We have questions coming in about this Furman spot. Matt Randall jumped on Furman +8. And I don't have it in front of me. There we go. Furman, Charleston, Southern. Furman opening up at -7. And now, sorry, did I say +8? Sorry, opening up -7. Now Furman at -8.5. This total's gone up 2 points from an opener at 142. What do you think of Furman tonight?
Yeah, I've already bet Furman. I've also bet the under in the game. I think that obviously Furman, this is a team that shoots really good from the field at 50%, but they do try and slow shit down and make it a little uglier on the road. I think obviously with Jordan Lyons and Clay Mounts, you have 2 great pieces that you can bring inside out. Jordan Lyons loves to shoot threes. He can drive to the bucket when you need him to. Clay Mounts, he can step it inside. He can take it outside. 3-point D is going to be at a premium tonight, 36% for Furman. That's going to have to hold true, and I think that they're going to hold them under 30%. Definitely be careful about revenge. Revenge is a situation in this game right now, and You gotta stay out of foul trouble. This is a Furman team that's only been running a 7-man rotation. Even against the Charleston Southern team that lost Christian Keeling, they still have DeAndre Fleming Jr., Dontrell Schuler, and Ty Jones. This is a team that you can't trust on the free throw line in Charleston Southern, but they get on the offensive glass. 21 turnovers, 21 fouls. That's not going to win you any money. So I'm betting on Furman, and I'm betting on the under. So let's go.
Now, Max, we are running out of time, and there might be some games that you want to talk about because you want to make official plays on. Are there, or should I just keep running through?
Yes, there are a couple plays, 2 that I'm looking at right now in my notes.
Okay, why don't we hammer those 2 games, and then I'll keep getting questions from the chat and then hammer through a few more games.
Okay, so Duquesne is going to be playing tonight. They are a 12 to 13 point favorite. And we learned about this Duquesne team when we bet on them against Princeton. They may have came out sluggish in the first half, but they turned on the heaters, and they got some depth. They got some front court depth. They got some backcourt depth. It's just a real impressive team. Freshman Larry Norman Jr., I look for him to have a bigger piece of the offense, taking some minutes from Tavion Dunn-Martin. I look for Cincy Carey to be an all A10 point guard tonight, really be efficient from the three-point line. This is a Duquesne team that covers spreads when they hit over 10 three-point shots. I think that they do that tonight. I think that the key is keep the turnovers down. Have a strong 40 minutes instead of just 20, which is what happened in Princeton. They're at home. The cobwebs are off. They got some game on them. They got some rum. Let's see them do it again. Keep TJ Atwood off the glass. Keep Davion Buster out of the lane. This is a guy that can get you a triple-double. You do not want Lamar's top 2 guys going off in this game because we will not cover the spread. I think that this game is going over. I think that Duquesne is going to score the basketball. I think that there's going to be no prisoners taken, and I think that they romp Lamar tonight and put a loss in Lamar's 2-0 win-loss column. And let's keep in mind, Lamar hasn't played a D1 team yet. They put up 90 or 100 points in each game, but they ain't going to do that against the Dukes. Let's go, Duquesne. Give me the minus 12.5 or minus 13 if I can get them, please. Jimmy the bag.
Absolutely, but you don't want the over.
Yes, sir.
You want both.
And I want
over.
Duquesne.
Okay, perfect. I can get you both. Let's start with the 12.5 right now. Let's grab that first for Max. There's 12.5 on the board. Let's grab it. Here we go. Duquesne Lamar. 12.5 at minus 105 available at Bookmaker. And that's Max's first side. These all being totals. That's Max's first side. Minus 12.5 at minus 105. Then Max wants the over in Duquesne Lamar. Let's grab that for him in Line Shop here at sportsbookreview.com. The SBR odds page. Here we go. The Lamar Duquesne over. There is a 146, but it's minus 119. Would you like the 146 at minus 119 or 146.5 at minus 110?
146.5 at minus 110, please, Jim.
And you have got it. So Duquesne and the over 146.5 at minus 110. There we go, Maxie. You're locked in. What's next that you wanted to talk about?
Jim, I got 3 sides for you that I want to talk about. One being one of my favorites, American University, going up against those big bad boys of George Washington. It's going to be a Washington interstate rivalry, and you know what? Americans 2-9 in their last 11 games ATS. I learned that from a very respectable college basketball capper, an overall capper on a different platform. But I won't shout him out by name, but I do respect him. Second off, American. Obviously, they're not going to have to deal with the huge front court of William and Mary tonight. They're going into GW as a 4-point dog. Americans yeah, we want some revenge from last year. We want to go and show that we got some serious fighter power in the backcourt in Jameer Harris and my main man, Saeed Nelson. Well, Saeed Nelson's back from suspension, and he's going to get me some retribution tonight. He's going into George Washington. They are cashing that +4. They're cashing that money line, and they're putting all these ATS naysayers to sleep with a bottle in their mouth.
I love it. You can get +4 at minus 110. +4 at minus 110. How's that sound?
That sounds good, and all I need American to do now is limit the frickin' 3-point attempts, limit fouls on drives, and start better, please.
And I will join in with American at +4 at -110. We have some questions coming in, but 2 more sides for Max. First and foremost, I am tailing the American play +4. What's next on your card, Max?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with another dog, a team that I initially was going to be fading during the season, but now I like the number, I like the spot. I'm going to be taking Campbell. I'm going to be taking them +4.5. They're going into UNC Wilmington tonight. I'm also on the under in the full game. That is a side, that's a total that I probably like a little better. But for show record keeping purposes, we're going to go with Campbell +4.5. This UNC Wilmington team, excuse my mispronunciation at this late time in the day, they're shooting 17% from the 3-point line. They're shooting 68% from the free throw line. Ty Gatson is injured. Ty Taylor, he's graduated. What are they going to do scoring-wise from their guards? Jay Esteem and Kai Tays are nice pieces, but they're not going to give you 25 a game. So it's going to be really dependent on Jalen Sims, who's tried to assert himself as the top scoring dog on this team. I don't think he's going to have a really good game tonight. I think that Campbell has a lot to play for. They got a chip on their shoulder. They want to show that they can ball without Chris Clemens. And Corey Gensler is the next top dog for this Campbell team. He's going to be able to get to the free throw line. This Campbell team's going to hit the 3-point shot, hopefully over 10, and they're going to win this game outright, in my opinion.
There you have it. There you have it. I'm tailing this one too. Campbell +4.5 at -110. It's down to 3.5 at some books, but you can still find the 4.5s at Heritage and Bovada. Pinnacle's brought it down to 3.5. Joe Anisi says Max on point today. You can tell he laid off the lettuce so far. All right, let's go. What's next side, Maxie?
Okay, so this is another side. It's not going to be a pretty game, but I'm going to take North Carolina A&T plus the points. If I can get 12 points, I'd be extremely happy. If I can get 11, I'll be content. How I look at this team is Matt Halverson, he's in a 3-point shooting slump. He needs to be hitting the 3-point shot. I think that Dotana Dotson for Western Carolina, he's a beast down low. I watched what he did to Gardner Webb. Carlos Dotson. He is a man amongst boys. But I think that NCAA with Ronald Jackson and Cameron Langley, I think that they're going to be able to step up and at least keep this game respectable. I don't need them to win the game. I need them to stay within double digits. So as long as NCAA can improve their 3-point shooting, which is at a paltry 25%, and 53% from the line, which I do expect them to step up, I think that we're in a good spot. I think that obviously you got to be aware of Western Carolina's ability to hit a 3-point shot in the half-court set and for them to get out and run in transition. But I do think that NCAA plays a slower pace. I think that they're going to try and really control the tempo. I think that they're going to be successful doing so. So I'm looking at the under in this game. I'm looking at NCAA and A&T, and we'll use that for show record keeping purposes.
Well, we can only give you a 10, sadly. +10 for North Carolina.
Then, yeah, no. Sorry, I got to back off it then.
All right. And then from a
total... I apologize.
No problem. And then from a total perspective, let's go there right now with North Carolina A&T. This opened up at 142. You can get the under 142.5, but that costs 7 cents at Pinnacle, -117. Or you can get 142 at -110.
No, I'll take the under 142. I don't think it's going to make a difference.
All right. North Carolina A&T at under 142 at -110. There you have it. Max throwing out 3 extra plays for us, and we love it. We're going to have to put a bow on this show very soon, and Vince Verheyden got Western Carolina -11. Vegas Lawrence has a question, but first we have a question from Schaff, our guy Schaff, who is listening to us on his drive home. He's now made it home safely. Says, interested in Max's view on the Oklahoma-Oregon State game late tonight if you end up having time, and we do have time. Let's go to spreads and totals and break this down right now. Here we go. The look on this spot. Come on. Oh, God. What's going on? Okay, here we go. I was looking at this game earlier, and I don't know why I'm not getting it here. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Oklahoma, Oregon State. Oklahoma opening up at -1.5. Now 2.5 across the board. A 3 is also on the board. This total opened up at 141.5. Now 140.5, Max. Oklahoma, Oregon State.
So this is a neutral court game, if I'm not mistaken. Am I, Jim? I believe it is.
Yes, I will double check.
I have 2 bets on this game. One of our favorite cappers and favorite low baggers, Mr. Matt Randall, is on Oklahoma. When I saw that he was on in the morning, I jumped on that. I tailed him. Because what happens when you tail Matt Randall? You win. Second off, what my play in the game and what my edge was, what have we been learning from neutral court games? They're really nice games to go under on. Unfamiliar rims, unfamiliar freaking levels, unfamiliar lighting. These factors play into 18 to 21-year-olds' performances on the basketball court. So the one play for me is under 140.5 on the under, -105 at 5 dimes.
And do you want to lock that in for show purposes?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Lock it in.
All right. We have a under 140.5 at -105 in Oklahoma. Well, I'll just go Oregon State. Under 140.5 at -105. All right, we're going to have to put a bow on this show, Max. We do have a question from Vegas Lawrence. Vegas Lawrence, and where is it? It was right there. There. Is USC getting too many points against an undefeated South Dakota State?
I think that South Dakota State has a lot of upset ability tonight. I think that they can definitely stay within that number. You have to be a little worried about how USC is going to use this beautiful front court freshman that they have. I'm not going to try and butcher his name, so we all know who we're talking about. But I think that this South Dakota State team is reinventing themselves before our very eyes. They're going to play stout defense. They're going to be methodical, and I think that you're on the right track with this side. I think that South Dakota State is definitely getting disrespected on the line, and I don't respect USC that much to be putting a 15-point spread on front of their game.
All right, there we go. And it is time now. Oh, and what about that Oregon game, says Anuj Ball. Yes, well, we are getting to the point where we will be looking for Max's best bet, Max's play the day. What do you have for us, Max?
Listen, this Memphis team, everyone wants them to succeed. Everyone wants them to be great. But you know what? I'm not goddamn impressed. You know what I'm impressed with? I'm impressed with the Oregon Ducks. Quack, 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 baby. You know what? Dana Altman's put together a fantastic group of players today. Guys that work well together, that suit each other's strengths. And I think that we're going to see a shellacking tonight. I'm looking for the best point guard in the nation, Peyton Pritchard, that bald, skinny, pale fuck, to lead the Oregon Ducks to a victory tonight, to a cover tonight, to a best bet casher, ending a 3-day losing streak. Give me Oregon -3.5 as my best bet.
And you can get it at -113. Oregon -3.5. It's only available at Pinnacle. Oregon -3.5 at -113, and I will be tailing that as well. I'm tailing 4 of Max's looks. Let's go over Max's action. Siena over 136 at -110. Liberty under 136.5 at -110. Manhattan under 133 at -110. Washington under 137 at -110. Creighton, Michigan under 154.5 at -105. I tailed that. And that score right now is 18-13 with 7.5 minutes gone right now. So 31 points. So that is trending a tiny bit to the over, but just a very tiny bit, and it's early. Next up, Northeastern under 141 at -111. Wofford over 145 at -115. East Carolina first half +4 at -125. Miami UCF under 135 at +120. Duquesne -12.5 at -105, and over 146.5 at -110. American +4 at -110. I'm tailing that. Campbell +4.5 at -110. I'm tailing that. North Carolina A&T under 142 at -110. Oregon State under 140.5 at -105. And then I'm on Oregon -3.5 at -113. I am tailing that as well. My goodness! Maxie Smart, incredible job What a treat it is. Thank you, Ryan Cartwright, who says, great show, guys. I love it. Chris Brady says, I'm tailing you on that Oregon. Jamal Price saying, what was the play of the day? It is Oregon -3.5. Darren Morris doesn't buy it. Darren Morris is on Memphis. Rico Roxas wishing us good luck. Maxie, in spectacular job, man. You keep stepping up in such an enormous way, and this is so taxing. All the hard work you do, sharing all your insights with us. Thank you so much from myself and from all of the low baggers. Follow this man on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. He's tweeting out his plays. He's beating line moves by 7 and 8 points.
3, 2, 1. Cash Robert Morris first half.
Cash Robert Morris first half. Great job, man. Great job. Max is running hot. Kevin Garrett says, great job, Max. Rod Crawford says, Oregon, quack, quack. Shaft says, thank you for your time tonight, Jimmy the Bag. And Max. Chump Change says, Max just made me spend all my money. No request says, great job, Max. And much love to you, Max. Thank you so much for joining us. Chris Brady says, great job, you guys. Just before we put a bow on this, Max, would you do us the spectacular privilege of introducing none other than Sheep Dagger Freddie Fortune?
Absolutely. You know what? If I had the ability right now, I'd get on one knee and I'd be like low baggers. I've come to you on this beautiful day, this beautiful cold winter day in Canada, to bring you the one and only Freddie Fortune.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome.
How are you?
Hi, Maxwell, I can see you.
Yes, Maxwell gave you a stupendous introduction.
What did he say? I cannot hear.
Very kind things.
What did he say? Hey, Max, what did you say about me?
Very nice things.
I said very nice things. I always give you a good intro. Don't worry, Freddie.
What did he say? He said, oh, here's Freddie Fortune. Very nice things.
All right. Great stuff, Freddie. Let me ask you this. You creeped us all out yesterday with your tales of sheep dagging.
And that's why I brought my special microphone to tell you about sheep dagging.
No, we don't want to hear more about this sheep dagging. It's horrifying.
I love talking about anuses.
I know you do.
And sheeps.
Listen, I'm going to get up and bounce if you lick your lips. All right? Because
Okay.
I don't see, I'm not looking anymore, but I can hear it.
Mhm.
And it sounds awful.
Okay, Dad.
Oh, God. All right. So we're not going to talk about sheep dagging.
Why not?
Because it doesn't, it's awful. Okay, here. How about this? I'll give you 30 seconds to talk about sheep dagging.
Well, did you tell the guys on Friday what I did on the weekend?
No, but you can tell them.
Well, my family has a farm way up in a volcano here in
15
Costa Rica,
seconds.
and they asked me all the time to go sheep dagging. So what I like to do is that, let's imagine that this is a sheep and this is my razor, and I go
All right, there's the 30 seconds on sheep dagging.
Thank you, Jimmy the Bag.
You're welcome. And that was the sheep's anus, I imagine.
Yeah.
All right, that's great stuff. Freddie, what's your action today?
Do you know what I love more than sheep dagging?
No, what do you love?
Sheep dagging in Germany.
Okay.
Well, that's just a joke to introduce my play. I'm on, how do you say this in English? I don't know, biathlon?
That's how you say it?
Yeah, this is the Women's World Cup for biathlon. This weekend is the 5th event. It will be in Ruhpolding, Germany, and I'm rooting for the home team, Germany, which is the favorite at plus 250 at Bet365.
And this is like a relay biathlon?
Yeah, it's a weird sport. I love weird sports.
Drexley says, I'm tailing whatever he says. Can you repeat your play one more time?
You will regret it, but it's biathlon, the Women World Championship. It's Germany to win at plus 250.
All right. Let me be the first to say great stuff. Do you want to give us a leche and get out of here? First off, I'm on 2 plays in NBA. Cavaliers plus 10.5. You could have got that at 11. if I had waited. I'm also on the Heat minus 7.5. That's gone up to 9 at some books. We know that they got in at 5:30 in the morning in Miami. They didn't fly until 2 a.m. You get that out of my face. I'm going to need that out of my face.
You need a microphone.
No, it just makes me uncomfortable. And someone else holding a mic there in my face. I'm also on 3 plays in the NHL. Wild minus 1. Wild Kings under 6. And the Sharks minus 1. Then I tailed 4 of Max's plays. Central Michigan under 154.5. Creighton, Michigan under 154.5 at minus 105. And then I'm on American plus 4. Campbell plus 4.5. Oregon minus 3.5. Can you give us a leche?
Yeah, I just did this because of you.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, you fucking hate me so much.
I don't.
Hate you so much.
You hate me so
You
much.
make my life so miserable all the
Okay.
time. Leche and los bookmakers! Yes.